Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well and have been enjoying your Easter weekend. Just a side note, I'm absolutely loving my nail varnish at the minute. I've done Barry M Pink Silk with a rose gold glitter over the top, and I can't stop staring at my fingers. Just a little random side note there at the beginning. So this is my next Easter DIY, and I bought these glass jars from Home Bargains. These were 69p. And this is what I intended to use. And then, to be honest, I chickened out because these are really nice jars. And I have no idea if this idea is going to work. I don't know. So, over the last couple of weeks, we like the Lloyd Grossman sauces. Generally, we eat a lot of the pasta ones. They're just nice and easy if we come in from work. We can't bother to do like a proper dinner. Chuck in a load of veg, bit of chorizo, and some pasta, and then use one of the Lloyd Grossman sauces. I do know that he also does like curry sauces and things now, but we've not tried them. We generally just have the pasta ones. So I've been keeping the jars and just washed them up. And I'm going to have a go with these first, because if it goes disastrously wrong, I haven't wasted these really nice jars. And if it works beautifully, then I can use these in future projects. So what I did when I was in Home Bargains, because I wanted to make it like a Home Bargains DIY, I picked up a load of their acrylic paints. And I did share this in the haul that I did from there a little while ago, a couple of weeks or so. I picked up 2 of the white, I picked up 1 blue, 1 red, 1 yellow. And then I also picked up a green as well, just because it was one of the other colours on offer. I think, if I remember rightly, they had an orange, which I didn't pick up, a black and a silver. But obviously these are the colours that I picked up. So generally I want to call this a Home Bargains DIY. But it's kind of a bit of a trash to treasure as well, because, as I say, I'm using actual rubbish jars, and some sticker paper basically is the main component of what I'm going to do. So I did just start doing this off camera, and then thought, why am I doing this and not filming? I might as well film at the same time. So I took the white and the blue, and I just used an old goo pot and just mixed up like a really pale blue paint. And then with that, I painted, I've got to be really careful it doesn't fall over, painted one of the jars like light blue. And then I want to do this, I want to do 5 jars in total: a pale blue, a lilac, a pale pink, a pale yellow, and a pale green. That is kind of the idea here. So I've obviously done the pale blue, and I've made enough so that I can do 2 coats of the jars. You see, I did do the bottom a little bit, I probably didn't need to do the bottom. But I thought at least 1 coat on the bottom, and then when I do the second coat, I'll have it the right way up so that the top's neater. The reason I made enough paint, oh, there's a fly around me, enough paint to do 2 coats was just because I don't know how good the coverage is going to be with just 1. So that was the blue one, and I'm just going to kind of try and push those bits out of my way without knocking that jar over. I've just put some kitchen roll in that little basket, and in the basket so it doesn't fall on my table. And I've got a few more goo pots that I can use, which is the open one, this one. So I'm going to squirt in, oh, probably not put it all over my table. Pop in a load of water. Probably should have muted that little bit, but there you go. And which one should we do next? Let's do the yellow one next. And one thing I am going to do actually, before I carry on, is just cover my table. I've just got literally just one of my swing bin liners, because then I can put this in the bin afterwards inside out and still use it. So I don't want too much wastage with what I'm doing. So peel off the foil of this one. And then one of the reasons I made so much of the blue is because the blue paint came out really quickly, and I ended up having to keep adding white. So I want to try and use only a tiny bit of this at a time. Let me just go through. I've got like a little pencil case of various different brushes. I'm just going to use this one, I think. The other brush was really good actually, but I haven't washed it out, so I'll go with this one. So I'm literally just going to add a small amount of the yellow each time, and hope that I can make a really nice lemon yellow. See, that's a really nice shade, but because the blue's got a little bit more colour to it, I'm just going to do the same with the yellow, but I'm only going to add it, as I say, a tiny bit at a time, because I would hate to suddenly make it too bright. This is probably only enough for one coat looking at the amount that I've made. So let's double up. Let's put in a load more of this. I think this is the closed one. Go if I use the right one. That's a better amount. And if I do have any paint left over, I've just grabbed my kitchen roll, and then I can just literally cover the tops of these glass jars overnight, because it's actually, what time is it? It's 11:05 at night. But we weren't tired, so Matt's on the PlayStation. You probably can't hear, I can hear his racing noises. Sorry. No, you're alright. I doubt they can hear it. And you know, what else can you do at 11:05 on Easter Sunday? So that should be a good enough colour. Just don't know whether to add a bit more. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. A little bit more yellow. And then that's it. I need to just go with it now. So I'm going to do this bit here first. Can you see what I'm doing? Not particularly. Now I did keep the lids of these jars, and I could potentially paint them, but I'm thinking rather than paint them, I might spray paint them the same silver as the lids I did on that Poundland jar. Mostly because I don't actually have a white. White is the colour I would go for. That's kind of the colour I want the lids to be if I was to keep them, because of the plan for the rest of the jar. I don't have any. Oh, I'm so not on camera, I apologise. I don't have any white spray paint, so I'm trying to go with what I have. So this isn't covering as nicely as the blue did. So this will definitely need a second coat. So I've done the bottom, and now I'm just going to pop it on here. Actually, I can probably do it like this and hold the top. And then do all the sides. It's twisting me bin bag. I need a little turntable. That's what I should have created. Because look, it's leaving a little ring. I did this differently, the other one, because obviously I wasn't filming. But I don't think this one's going as well. That one worked much better. There is a fly that keeps buzzing around my face. It's really irritating. Ugh. I hate flies. Now, yes, I'm aware I don't really need the bottom painted. But as I said, just for the first coat, I'd like a little bit on there so that the colour kind of runs to the bottom quite neatly. So that is the yellow one done, and I'm literally going to repeat this now for the other colours.
I didn't know something was wrong. Here I was dreaming we got along so perfectly and wordlessly. Had I been there some of the time, I would have seen all of the signs of our fall.
Okay, so the first coat is done on these, so I've just got to let them dry. So I'm not too bothered about the brush strokes, excuse the pain on my fingers, because that will just sort of add to the quirkiness. But I did notice that when I was using these Derwent brushes from Hobbycraft, that they did coat the glass better than when I used the IKEA brushes on these two, which are the kind of wooden handle ones. I mean, these were cheaper, to be fair, they are only cheap brushes. So I need to just make sure when I do the second coat that I only use the Derwent brushes. So I'm going to take all the brushes and wash them up, cover all of these little glass bowls with cling film. I think I said kitchen roll earlier in the video. I'm so sorry. I did mean cling film. Cover these with cling film so that the paint doesn't dry out. And then I'm going to show you sort of the next idea that I have for these. Okay, so they are all now wrapped. I've used up almost a whole tube of white, but obviously only a tiny amount of the colours. And I've just caught that one, but I'm just going to leave it, to be honest, until I do the second coat. So let me take you over to the computer. So earlier on, I was just on Publisher. It's my favourite thing to use. I've just used it for years as a teacher, so I tend to go towards it. Although I have like Canva accounts and things like that, I do tend to use Publisher quite a lot. So I just chose 5 different silhouettes. So I've got a chick, a lamb, a rabbit, a pig, and then I couldn't think of any other kind of Easter animals, so I just did a second different type of rabbit. And I've sized them so that they are just less than 5 centimetres tall, because on the Lloyd Grossman jars there's kind of a band running around where the label normally is, which is 5 centimetres tall. So I've just made sure that these are not taller than that. And what I did is I printed these off on sticker paper, so I can just show you. I did just 3 rows because it filled up the sheet. So there is 1 row of them, and it's just on this sticker paper. I've got different types of sticker paper, but I've just got this one here. It's just full A4 sheets. And while we were sitting watching TV earlier on, I've just cut out a load of these, and I just thought I'd do something very, very similar to the candles, where I glitter this side and then obviously use the sticky side to stick it to the jar. So that's kind of the idea, and I'm thinking of using that crystal white glitter that I used for the cards, just because I don't want silver on these ones. I do want it to be white. But what is the time? Let me have a little look. It is 20 to 12, so I think I'm going to call it a night. I've cut these out ready. I've given the jars the first coat, so tomorrow I will give the jars a second coat, and while I'm waiting for that to dry, then I can glitter all of these little characters and get them ready so that once the paint is dry, I can assemble them all together. Okay, so I've got up the next morning and they are completely dry. As you can see, they have a lot of brush strokes, so they're definitely going to need at least 1 more coat. So that's what I'm going to do now.
Suffering, oh, help me get back again. 'Cause we had love enough, a bit of time, a bit of luck. Now I'm dreaming up, peace of mind, getting unstuck. I don't know how to start over with someone else. Thinking of you, still making me breathless. We had it good, baby, we had it bad. I let you go, now you're stuck in my head, like an all out, drawn out goodbye. Like an all out, drawn out goodbye. Like an all out, drawn out goodbye. I could be wrapped around your arms instead of being lonely. We could be gazing at the stars, but now it feels just like I wandered off into a room and closed the door behind me. I never gave the key to you, even though I wanted to. I should be trying something new, but now my body's aching. I'm tired of dwelling in the dark, it's just that my heart can't take it. I didn't know what it would cost me when I let you go. feel alone, and I'm just singing, it should have been you. Another time, another place, I just know, it could have been you. What a crime and what a shame to let go. Sometimes I just don't know what to do. It should have been you. I could be driving to your place, but now the ground is shaking. Could be a phase, but it feels like it will never go away until we make up. I can't be myself.
Okay, so I had loads of the purple paint left over, and to be honest, these are not working as well as I would have hoped. So I decided to use this final jar that I kept. This is a sweet and sour sauce jar from Aldi, and then I've coated the inside this time. So just best as I could, just try to get the paintbrush inside the jar and coat it with the paint just as best as I can. The colour's not as nice. It's a bit of a grey kind of lilac. Now that it's drying, but I thought I might as well use up the paint in that way. So I'm going to wash these up, let these dry, and once these are dry, I'll come back and start glittering the little animals. Okay, excuse the blanket, I'm feeling really cold, so I've got my blanket on. I've got all of my little pre-cut animals, and because I painted that one extra jar, I'm not going to print off another set, but I'm just going to use these two rabbits, I think. Just because they're already printed, so I'm just going to cut these two out.
I never knew how much I needed you. It should have been you. Another time, another place, I just know. It could have been you. What a crime and what a shame to let you go. Sometimes I just don't know what to do. Should have been you. It should have been you. I could be wrapped around your arms instead of being lonely. It should have been you. Another time, another place, I just know. You could have been the one who made me feel home. What a crime and what a shame to let go. Ooh, it should have been you. Another time, another place, I just know. You could have been the one who made me feel at home. What a crime and what a shame to let you go. Sometimes I just don't know what to do. It should have been you. It's alright, I can make it home by myself. I've got your words inside my mind. Nobody told me it was gonna turn out like this, but that's alright, that's alright, that's alright. I watch the sun climbing over buildings and bridges. I guess we lost track of time. Nobody knew it was gonna turn out like this, but that's alright, that's alright, that's alright. What do you want from me? Ooh, what do you want from me? Ooh, you know it's been tough for me. It's like I'm in agony every time I see you.
Okay, so I have finished this jar, these jars even, and to be honest, this is the only DIY that I've done so far this week that I haven't particularly liked. So I'm going to leave that one for a second. Let me just talk about these ones. I was originally going to use these mason jars from Home Bargains, and I'm pleased I didn't use these because I'm sure there's other things I can do with them. 69p these were. I've probably mentioned that already, but I can see why so many people spray paint these. 2 coats of paint, and to be honest, it was just peeling off and cracking. I think the blue one and the purple one, you can see it the most. All the paint, the first layer was cracking when I was putting the second layer on. So I don't know if that's just because it's cheap paint or because it was the wrong type of paint. And obviously because these are Lloyd Grossman jars, you've got the signature as well. So that was the first thing that I didn't like. So I do think maybe spray painting them might have been a better idea. I did then use the leftover purple paint to paint the inside of this jar, and I think it looks much better. The only problem with this is you wouldn't be able to use it as like a proper vase or anything like that, because obviously you couldn't put water in, because obviously it would run the paint. But I like the effect of this one more. So I think if I did something with these again, I'd probably paint the inside of the jars. I quite like the gloss finish on this, whereas these are obviously matte. So yeah, happier with the effect on this one. I would have preferred to have done 2 coats. You can't see too much that it's a thin coat until you kind of shine light through it, and then you can see it a little bit, but it's not too bad. The other thing I'm not that keen on is I think the pictures are just too small, because obviously I tried to fit them between this kind of band here, although I've stuck these ones on terribly. I made them quite little, whereas I could have made them a lot bigger, similar to kind of the size of the cards and the photo frames I've already done. So I could have made a bigger emblem on these. I like how the glitter has worked. I did obviously something very similar on the photo frames and on the cards, so you've seen that anyway. I've hot glued some little pom-poms on the rabbits because I just love how that looks. So in terms of these jars, I've got this little rabbit here on the purple one. Sorry if the focus isn't working properly. I can't actually see the screen of the phone. I'm kind of hoping for the best. Then I put this rabbit on the mint green one. A couple of them aren't sticking that well, but I can always go in with a bit of hot glue and stick them down a little bit more. Let me just try and... That's better, isn't it? That's a little bit better focused. Then on the blue one, I did these little lambs, which I think are really, really cute. And I've just done the same image front and back, because generally you'd only see one side, but I just wanted to do both. Then on this one, I've done a little pig, obviously thinking more piglet, but if you type in piglet template in Google, you just get like the Winnie the Pooh character. But yeah, quite happy with that one. And then the yellow one, I've done a little chick. So that one's really not sticking. As I say, it's only because it's getting quite late. I won't get this edited in time, I don't think, now, because it's 9:10 at night. So I probably would have taken a little bit more time had it not been so late. And the idea for these was, I've got these little like fake flowers from Home Bargains. So I've got this kind of spring bunch could go in there. So let's just separate these a little bit. Push that out a bit there. Not sure how well you can see that. I just thought this would make a really cute little vase. I can't really see what I've done, to be honest. I've got this stand like on my phone and I can't see what I'm showing you. Then I also picked up these sunflowers, so also from Home Bargains. And I just thought, again, just you could always cut them down a little bit, but pop some sunflowers in one of these little jars and it makes a really nice little home decor piece. Let me take this off the stand. Ooh. Sorry, I know it's going to be a little bit wiggly while I do this, but let's get the stand out the way. Whoop. Oh, I'm making a mess. Yeah, let me just push these out of the way a little bit. So yeah, you've got like a little spring kind of vase, which I thought would be a really cute idea. So obviously I've got that one and that one. If I just move my Fanta can and put this one here, let's see what it would look like in the slightly taller jar. See, I think that looks really, really cute. And the other thing that you could do with these actually is use them as like pen holders. So I haven't got any pens to hand, but I do have some paint brushes. So let's just pop those in here. So yeah, so you could have like a little pop for your paint brushes or your pens or anything like that really. What have I got to hand? I've got a glue pen. It's a bit short really. But yeah, that was kind of the idea. The idea mainly was these little vases. I actually really like that green with the sunflowers. I like this pink with this little pink bunch, but I don't like the sunflowers in that one. Let's try this blue one. Blue and yellow normally goes quite nicely together, doesn't it? Yeah, see if I trimmed them down, they would look better. Or bent the bottoms over. Can you bend these ones? Not. Oh yeah, you can. So they're like wired, so you can kind of just bend them in on themselves. So then, I haven't cut the tags off yet. Oh, see, that's better with it bent round a little bit. Yeah, well, I kind of like them. I don't love them, to be honest. But what I might do is, I'm definitely not going to get time to edit this video because my laptop honestly takes about 2 hours to export a video, so it's not going to be done tonight. So when I get up in the morning and before I edit these, I might just quickly shoot these in the light. I might place them in some bits of like some different places in my home just to show you what it could look like properly. So yeah, I'll probably insert that footage and then I'll edit the video. So fingers crossed, they look a bit better in the daylight tomorrow. So I've got up this morning with a bit of a fresh head. Matt really liked these yesterday, and as you'll know from the bit of footage just before this, I wasn't sure. I definitely prefer the effect of the paint on the inside, so that's something to remember for the future. And these were a bit of a faff because they've all peeled off overnight, and I'm not sure if it's because the conservatory is quite hot already this morning, but I've just re-glued them on. As you can see, his little foot, his trotter, isn't quite stuck. But I do quite like them, so I've just styled them in a few places just to kind of show you what they could look like. So I've just got this green one here with those sunflowers from Home Bargains just in the middle of my table run. I've still got all the mess from the jars to the side of me. So that's what it could look like. This is my favourite colour, this mint green, so that's why I've put that one on here. Plus we've got the yellow and the green gnomes, so then that kind of brings in the two colours here nicely, I thought. So I really like that, just because the roses on the table were, they've had their best day, let's be honest. And then if I just spin you around the conservatory, we've actually just bought a patio set from Morrison's yesterday, which I've just put together. This is a mosaic table, which, just a side note, this cost us, it was meant to be £65, which I thought was amazing value, but yesterday was the last day I got 10% off because of being a teacher, so it was 60 quid, because we've literally only got these two recliners and that's all of our furniture for the whole garden. So yeah, that's going to go in that place. Anyway, that's besides the point. I've just taken off one of the Easter candles because when we're sitting out of an evening we might light a candle. I moved the egg down because on that top shelf there I've added the yellow vase with the sunflowers in. Now I played around with the different colours for ages and I wasn't sure whether to put the sunflowers in the yellow one or swap it with the one I'm about to show you. In the bookcase I've got the little blue one with the lamb with the pink flowers. So again, I just tried to tie in some of the colours. Oh wow, I'm reflecting terribly in all of those frames. The pink here of these flowers I thought went really nicely because you've got the pink gnome, you've got the pink in the glass, you've got the pink down here, and then again the blue, the elements of blue kind of within the colours. So that was why I put those two together, but you could easily swap them, put the sunflowers in this one and put those pink flowers up at the top because obviously of the frames have got pink in them. So you could do whatever you wanted with these, and you could put any sort of flowers, dried grass, anything in them, to be honest. And I think that one is my favourite just because I really like the colour and I really like the symbolism of the rabbit because I've got so many sort of little rabbits around the house. So yeah, so that is my final DIY. I don't think I'm going to do any other Easter ones. I've got some other projects I'm going to do over Easter instead. And this was probably my least favourite. That's annoying me. There we go. But you win some, you lose some, don't you? I gave it a go. I can see why people spray paint now because that was a lot of effort for not the nicest finish, if I'm honest. But I've used up one tube of white acrylic paint, which cost me £1. I've only used a tiny bit of the colours, and all the glasses were actually from the rubbish. And I've used one sheet of sticker paper, some glitter, and a couple of pom-poms. So I've probably spent less than £3 worth of materials, really, because everything else would have gone in the bin. The only thing that I've obviously paid out for are the fake flowers, which I won't obviously throw away. I'll keep. So I'll probably keep these jars until next year, and then maybe do something different and do like a bit of a comparison. So keep hold of these, that if I do something a bit better next year, we can look back and laugh at these. But yeah, I think they're quite cute. I think they're a cute idea. Just maybe they were not executed as well as they could have been. So I hope you enjoyed this last DIY. I'm sorry that it was later than I said it was going to be. It's just been a mad few days. I'm actually going to move the Eggabator today and put that upstairs because it's so hot in this conservatory already. I just don't think it's going to keep them as a constant temperature. So I'm going to move them upstairs a little bit later on. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you've been enjoying your Easter weekend, whatever you've been doing. And I'll see you again this week. I've got a couple of hauls to share with you. And I've got some other projects that I'm going to be doing. So I'll see you again soon. Bye everyone.